All right, so I went over my new design in the previous video, and now it's time. It's still not quite to the fun stuff yet. I'm going to keep these in smaller chunks. So now I was going to go through just how I set up WordPress and GeneratePress more specifically, I guess, for my projects, and I'm going to do the same with my website. So again, this is my design, or kind of the starting point for my design, of going from my inspiration for these the old grid-based Massimo Vignelli type designs, kind of mashed up with my love for old 80s print ads, the big headlines, big bold headlines, things like that, and using the colors from my funky old wallpaper in my office to kind of as an inspiration for the colors that I'm going to use on my website throughout. So yeah, so this is just going through and doing the WordPress setup. So my local development is all done through Laragon. You do that, Laragon. I don't even know the web address. Laragon.org. Yeah, it's free. It's great. I've had nothing but good luck with it, and I already have it set up. So what I do is I have actually, I'm right clicking on it. This is the little button for Laragon. So quick app, and you can spin up a WordPress site really easily, but you can also clone sites. So I have my child theme development in here, and this is what I used to load up on GitHub, so I can just clone that and automatically get all the plugins and things that I used, and I have to do some updates because it's kind of old, but the child theme can be found on GitHub under Addison Hall and GeneratePress, and you can just download it, or if you are savvy in Git and can do all the command line stuff, have at it. Have fun. Yeah, so this is the back end. All my stuff's already installed, and I'm sorry if I should have gone through that. Maybe that's a different video, but I actually already had begun a sort of quasi print ad inspired big headline site, but it just was never really doing it for me. So I've scrapped it as far as what I'm going to do, but some of it's here. So but I need to go back through the setup. So the first thing I need to do is my colors. Yeah, let's do colors first. So I like to add my colors. Let's see, so this is Visual Studio Code, and I'm in my child theme folder, and the ink folder has lots of stuff in it. There you go. And all of these files are included in the functions file. Here they are. And I can comment out things that I'm not going to use. Let's see. Yeah, and there's the colors. So let's look here. Colors. Yeah, and it just, out of the box, I have white, light gray, dark gray, and black. But we are going to include, I might keep those grays, but let's see, where's my design? So I'm gonna get down here in Infinity Designer, and yeah, so I'm just gonna snag these, come over here, and I'll drop them in after the light gray, and I'll just call this I always have trouble naming light tan. I don't know. And you can do things like the slug. You can do, like, since this is Addison Hall Design, I can prefix it with AHD. But you don't have to. It's, I guess that's a personal preference kind of thing. This red color, burgundy color, whatever it is. Naming something I always have trouble with. Class names. What do I call this? Burgundy? I don't even know how to spell burgundy. Is that right? I guess it doesn't matter. Burgundy. So this is the name that shows up in WordPress, and this is the slug name. So my child theme, and I've seen in development where this is going to be something cool is coming for color management, and I believe font management in the newest version of GeneratePress. I'll probably be able to phase this stuff out. Right now, this automatically, if once I fill this in, it generates all the color palettes and CSS classes and the custom properties in CSS, variables basically, that I can plug in throughout my styles. But I believe all that's coming in, built in, which is really awesome. So now my blue. Call this navy. It's kind of navy. And the last one is green. Does that need to be like a hunter green? Yeah, I think we call it, I don't know what hunter green is, but it feels like a hunter green. What if these are default colors in CSS? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so there are my colors, and so now, why did I just open Chrome? Whoops. So now if I go to the customizer, these will also show up in generate blocks as you're making your blocks. These will show up as the color palette you can choose from. Excuse me. Come on, customizer. Things always tend to run slow when I have, what am I running? OBS, the screen recording stuff. So now colors, for example, I can change the background color. Yeah, they're all my colors, like cream, or why is it not changing on here? Oh, I must have it covered up with content area, I bet. Yeah, and this, so this video is not to design necessarily, but there we go. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and save that. Okay, so there are my colors, and now I need fonts. Now fonts are going to be a little more complicated because I typically use Google fonts whenever possible, or Adobe fonts. So I need to basically get this first, because I think what I'm going to do ultimately is I'm going to buy a web license for Dolly Bold directly from the Foundry underwear, so I can load it directly instead of, I don't know, I guess this is good enough. So one's going to be Typekit, one's going to be, I'm going to have to actually put the fonts in myself, which I don't do that very often at all. So I always have to remind myself how to do it. So we're all in this together. I'm going to reveal how ignorant I am because I don't do these things all the time. So my functions file, I want to on-queue these fonts. So I'm going to duplicate this line. We're going to call this GPC Adobe fonts. And we're not pulling locally, so I can get rid of this. I'm going to fill this line in. Paste that right in there. Okay, so that should include my reference to Typekit, Adobe fonts, whatever. And this GPC version is, yeah, I have my own version up here. It's a global variable. Is that how you say that? It's not really a global variable. It's a constant. I don't remember. But anyway, so I can change the version number all over the place. So now I need to include the fonts. So that is done in my ink folder, and fonts So there's another video where I kind of go through what all this stuff is. Show all the Google fonts. Yep. Remove Google font CSS reference. Nope, don't care for that. And that's for, actually I may do that because I'm not going to be using any Google fonts. Yeah, so if you're using all Typekit fonts or your custom fonts, you can tell GeneratePress don't reference Google fonts at all. Okay, here we go. Here's my Typekit line. So here, this is for adding custom Google fonts like these, because all the Google fonts aren't necessarily in GeneratePress. They may be in the next version, but the current one does not do that. So you can add your own if they don't appear. So, whoops, sorry, I'm jumping around too much. So I'm going to uncomment this filter. We'll leave that in there for now. Okay, so I need to go back and find out. I only included Dolly bold. So edit project. Dolly bold. Dolly new. Okay. So also some of this optimization, like okay, there are no open type features, so I can leave that out. I do tend to do the language subsetting, and this is kind of optimizes the fonts you're going to be pulling, so it doesn't pull the characters needed for all these different languages. If I'm only going to have English for now, which I am, so we're just going to pull English. I'm going to save. So here, Dolly new. Okay, so jump back over here. Dolly new. The only drawback of this method is that I can't include a fallback. I can only include, so it'll only have this one font name. And that's okay for now, but that might be another reason why I buy a license and host my fonts locally, all of them. Yeah, so let's see. So now, I think this will work. Go back to my customizer. I'll have to refresh. We're going to see if we can change this headline to Dolly bold instead of, oh, did I include? Oh yeah, and I can't include the weights either. So here you include, you know, which variants and weights you want to include. For this, I'll just have to tell it Dolly bold, and that's okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Typography. Headings. Okay, heading 1. I'm just gonna type in Dolly new. Okay, we don't have a normal, but it might load bold anyway. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and tell it bold because it is bold. And oh, I've got some custom kerning or tracking rather on that. Okay, so that works. I don't believe it's going to show up. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. Let me find in the styles where I, oh, not screenshot. Added that custom. Yeah, so that headline, TV headline. Why did I do it like that? Letter spacing. I don't know why I didn't do that in generate blocks. I'm just gonna scrap all that because I'm not gonna use it. Save. Go back. Okay, let's close out of this and let's see if we can make the font show up in the editor. So I'm gonna go to Pages. Home. Okay. And again, Typekit, doing this is way easier to me than adding in your own custom fonts. I'm kind of dreading that because I'll probably have to Google how to do it. I don't remember. Yeah, see. Yeah, here's Caslon, which is a Google font, so it's showing up. Okay, so let's see. I think it's as easy as now we need to do it down here as well in the editor scripts. Maybe. Let's see. I'm probably wrong. And I wonder if I need to, is it okay to leave it? So this is like the identifier that WordPress uses so you can do things to these scripts. You can hide them or remove them using these, I call them references, I don't know. I'm just to be safe, GPC admin W fonts. Maybe I should call that admin editor. Anyway, sidetracked. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, refresh. I only changed the H1 heading font family. Cross my fingers. Hey, that did it. Okay, so it knows that it's okay. Okay, that's good. Cool. And let's see what happened here. Yep. All right. Okay, now let's see if we can get Graycliff in that. Okay, that was. Oh, come on. Ah. Yeah, okay. So we've got Dolly Bold and we have Graycliff. So I'm only going to include, what now? The bold and demi-bold. Demi-bold? What do I use on these others? That's medium. Yeah, I don't know. I remember thinking there wasn't really enough contrast, but I like the bolder weights. I guess I can figure that out. I can go ahead and include more. This extra bold field's a little bit too bold. We can go ahead, we'll include more of them. Okay, I've done this before and I should have pulled up a reference, but we're gonna do it from scratch. Okay, so I wonder if I'll have a style sheet just for fonts to be included. So I put them all in a fonts folder in the child theme, but in my CSS I know I have base and I have Gutenberg. I wonder if I ought to have a fonts CSS so I can include that separately. If that would just be better housekeeping. Let's try that. And I can always, I know for performance, people, the thing is to wrap up all your style sheets into one file. So there's only one request for those assets. I had thought that HTTP2 protocol would fix that, where it didn't really matter. But regardless, if we need to concatenate everything into one file, I'll use Auto-Optimize. Great plugin. So we'll do that. Okay, I am gonna have to Google this. Whoop. And open Chrome again. Good grief. Sorry. Let's see. Include custom fonts in CSS. I had a client joke with me one time. They had another friend in web development who said that programmers are just people that can Google really good. And that's about right. Okay, font face. Well, let's see here. And I do that a lot, unfortunately. So font face, we have to include font. We give it a font family name. Oh yeah, we have to do it for every single one. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. And I hope you feel like you can do that as well. We'll call this Graycliff. Now, if I remember right, do I do each of these font families? No. Yeah, okay. Wait. Yeah, we're not going to include them all. That would be a pain in the butt. Can I do that? So what do we have? We have, let's say this is bold, and it is normal. And we're going to include, oh geez, what would the, I think it would be WP content. Yeah, there we go. Themes, child, fonts, Great Cliff. I don't remember the order. I guess we'll do it like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna repeat that. I know this is so sad. Like in my head, I'm thinking professional developers don't do this. They know all this, or they have some kind of shortcut to do it all. WAF. Do I need to put WAF? Sure, we'll try that. And this will be WAF 2. Okay, first let's see if that works. Okay, so I have my font references. Now I go back to my functions file and let's include, I'm gonna do this one, custom fonts. Okay, CSS, fonts, CSS. And I also need to include it in the admin. Admin custom fonts. I think that's it. Okay, one more thing. I need to go over here and oh crap, what do I call it? Great Cliff? Just with a capital G. Okay. I think that's what I have to do. Great Cliff. All right. Moment of truth. Okay. I know that's just bold. Appearance, customize. So it's not so bad once you get it down. Well, if this works. Okay, typography, body. Okay, not Caslon. Great Cliff. See what happens. Man, would you look at that? All right. So it says it's normal. So we want to add. I'll add. Ooh, here we go. Let's add. Let's go ahead and add. What did I say? Demi bold. Wait. I don't remember. What did I say? Demi bold and medium, maybe. Yes. Okay. Demi bold and medium. Demi bold. Demi bold. So now font weight. Maybe I need to do it. Maybe it's better to do it by the numbers. Oh, and what would demi bold be? It would be 600. Okay, that's why I'm not noticing enough contrast. Okay, and 500. So wait. So if bold is 700, which it typically is, I'm going by the numbers. Demi bold should be 600. Medium should be 500. So let's add medium. Just one cursor, please. 500. Okay, we'll try it like that. And then we'll do the obliques for each one of these. Is it demi bold oblique? Is that simple as that? I think so. Spell it right. And call that italic. Yeah, so it's got it can be all the same font family name because they are, but we're defining what the different weights and styles are. I think that's right. It's amazing what I take for granted. Italic. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and publish. And refresh so that our new fonts show up. Excuse me. Yeah, I know there's a name for it, imposter syndrome. Like I often feel like I should know all this stuff, and I just don't. I guess there's some stuff that I do have in my head that I don't have to look up. I just know it. Oh, there we go. It just kind of worked, didn't it? But there are so many things that I can't. I have to look them up all the time. I think that's normal. As long as you get the job done and you know somewhat what you're doing when you implement something, you're not just flying by the seat of your pants all the time. Okay, so here's where. See, I don't really have a 400 weight. 500. But that, okay, so that should be. So let's see what happens when I change it to 600. It gets a little bit bolder. 700. Yep. 800. Nothing happens. Okay, so let's try it. Let's just leave it on the 500. Maybe that's what I use. Publish. And back to my headings. So I want the H1 to be Dolly. These, okay. So I need, do I have a sample? A lot of times I put in a sample typography page with all the headings. Ooh, well, that's not it. That is some of this stuff. Yeah, I've used these for different videos and I don't remember what they are. We'll get rid of that breadcrumb. Oh, look at there. Okay, so there's color on color. That's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, well, let's do this. I do want to, let's see, Fillrama is one of my favorite Greek or filler text sites. Yeah. Oh, you know what? No. I want Star Wars. Yeah. Okay. So I'll copy a bit of this text. And I'm going to go ahead and go make a page. This is getting a little bit more into the styling. Like, I really just wanted this video to be more about setup and getting those assets in there to be used. Let's see. Oh, I already forgot what I was doing. So let's change the sample page into just a straight up typography page. Some dummy text so I can have just a nice big long block. Can I? Yep. Delete. Boom. All right. Paste. All right. So we've got, that's an H2. That's an H3. Okay, give me refresh. I want to put in. It's H3. Let's put in H4. And that's probably about as far as we'll go. Why is an H3 so much smaller? That must have been something I did. Okay, update. Oh, that's not, I didn't. H3. H4. Okay. Back to the customizer. Where's my sample page? Love it. Okay. Excuse me. Appearance customize. Okay. So I'm gonna switch the page back to white. Just to have a blank canvas. Yeah. Colors, body. Whoa. What did I just do? Colors, body, white. Nope. Oh, colors, content, and white. Okay, better. Excuse me. Well, yeah. Okay. That's a pretty good overall font size, I think. Typography. Okay. I'm gonna have narrower text columns. So maybe. I like the font to be kind of big, to be honest, because most people, well, I know we tend to use phones quite a bit now. So smaller screens are in play more often than I think about it. We as web designers have to try harder to design for mobile first. I'm not even doing that right now myself. You know what? Let's okay. So now let's look at the headings. Okay, so Dolly new heading 1. So that can inherit. Let's go to 700. That's a decent contrast. It's even a decent size. That is not a decent size. That needs to. And there are, you know, I guess a lot of people think in terms, and myself included, when you're creating your heading sizes. And again, I really shouldn't be getting into this. This is more design, but I'm almost done. We'll get into more of this stuff when I actually dive into the, I guess, the overall design setup, the colors and the grid and all that kind of jazz. And then, you know, we'll take it step by step. But you don't have to strictly go by size when setting up your heading structure for your site. And some of that comes into the overall design. The Elements of Typographic Style, great book, really, I'll call it nerdy. but still a great book, great resource. Goes into lots of different great ways of developing headings, and in the examples are more bookish, at least in the copy I have. I don't know what the latest edition shows. But you have it'd be interesting and challenging to set up your heading structure with all the same font size. You just do it by, maybe it's maybe my heading level 3 is all caps. And then, my heading level 4 is the same size, but upper and lowercase. So you get an impression that this is over this in terms of hierarchy. But anyway, I'll address that later. So right now, that's 24. We're going to make heading 3 is 24. We're going to make this 22. See, you really can't. That and that is clear, but this and this is not. Anyway, I'll do this next time. I'm going to publish and kind of finish my cleanup. I know that's still. Why did I do it that way? Okay, I set this to inherit. Oh, because I had Caslon as the. Can't type inherit. Yeah. Okay. That's what I want. Now I go to primary navigation. Again, we're going to inherit. I can't type that for some reason. There we go. That should pick up on. Yep. I want that to be bold too. We'll play with that some more. Okay. I think that's the basics. So now I have kind of all the pieces in place where I can come in now and really tinker with the design. So it was really just colors and fonts, I suppose. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't want to make this too long. Yeah, so next time we'll go over, I'll go through actually applying kind of the design that I have here. So really it'll focus on how do we apply these colors. And I got a good example from the Facebook community for GeneratePress. Something I tend to make things more complicated. It was nice and easy. Sorry, excuse me. I need a glass of water. Yeah, so again, all we did was we added our custom fonts. We added our Adobe fonts, our Typekit font, whatever, Dolly Bold. And we had to add references both to Typekit here and here in our functions PHP. So we're calling our scripts and styles. Here's our Adobe fonts. Here's our custom fonts. And we had to do it again for the admin so that our stuff would show up in the editor. We want that. It makes for a nice editing experience. And we also added our colors. Close these up. Yeah, so this is our color palette. And this kind of wraps up all the colors, both in the customizer and in Generate Blocks and in just the standard WordPress editor. Through some various functions that I've dug up in different places. And yeah, so thanks for following along. I hope that I'm not just rambling, that we're all learning something together. Like, subscribe, all the typical YouTube stuff. And I'll try to post the next video in the next few days where we actually dig into the design. We get into some fun stuff. Not that this stuff isn't fun, but it's not as fun. So anyway, thanks everyone.